Hello everybody, welcome to BobCAD-CAM UK, and in this demonstration what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the different ways you can control the high-speed milling within BobCAD. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create myself a 200mm rectangle in the center of the screen. So if I go into other rectangle, and you can see it's showing an impression of a rectangle already there, so I'm going to change that to X 200, Y 200, and that's the rectangle I want to draw, and I want to position it at 0, 0, 0. Select OK and cancel. You can see now I've created that rectangle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a slot in the middle here. So what I'll do is I'll go into lines, sketch, and I can put fixed. I'm going to put 20 in there, and I can come onto the screen and just click and drag, and then I can come over here now and say -20 and just click on the screen, and you can see I've created a slot the width that I want. What I'll do is I'll just quick trim, get rid of the excess pieces that I don't want, and what we want to do is we want to mill this slot in the middle. So I'll just go into a isometric view so you can have a look at it. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll open up the CAM tree. I'll put a new job in, and it's going to be milling, and I'll get the stock wizard, a rectangular, and you can see it's picked it off the workspace there. That's fine, that's okay. So select OK, and here I'll just turn down the transparency of that so we can see it a bit lighter than what it should be. And what I want to do is I want to mill a slot in here using high speed. So what I need to do is I need to just get rid of these areas here, because this is the area that I want to mill the slot. So what I would do is go into quick trim, and I could just get rid of the lines that I don't want to keep. I can always put them back later if I want to do something else. And basically all I want to do is mill that slot in the middle. So if we go back into the CAM tree, we've got it set up, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to do a mill to axis, select the geometry, come highlight the geometry, shift key, left click, right click, press OK, and next. And you can see now, let's put that at 10, and you can see the geometry that you've selected is highlighted here. I'm going to put 2 here. We'll say the top of the job 0, and we'll go down 1/2 inch deep, or 12.7 deep. Next, I'm going to do some pocketing. Let me get rid of profile finish, I'm not really interested in that. So let's go next, and we're going to use work offset G54. Next, I'm going to put a 12.7 or 1/2 inch end mill in there. Select next, and what we're going to do is we're just going to do some pocketing out, or we'll do advanced pocketing, and I can use adaptive roughing, so it will spiral trochoidally and take that slot out. I'm going to use a step over of let's say 20%. Next, I'm going to leave 0.5 on there, and the link clearances, which is the actual when it raises up and comes back down again, these are the options for that. Next, I'm going to spiral inwards. I'm going to put 3. Next, closest, finish, and I'm going to compute the toolpath. It'll take us a bit to compute it there. So let's go and have a look at our simulation and see what we've got. So if I go into milling simulation, okay, let's just move that over. turn off the machine because I've got my screen tied up a little bit. You can't quite see what we've got there, so I'll turn off the machine, turn the toolpaths off, and what we'll do then is we'll simulate what's going to happen. So what it's going to do now is going to spiral in that side, spiral down to depth, and then it's going to open up the slot, as you can see. But the problem being is it can't get out the slot because I want to come inside of here and inside and out of there. So what we've got is we've got a spiral toolpath, trochoidal milling, and what it's doing, it's staying within the boundary. You can't get anything out of there. So that's what we've got. We've got a situation here where I would like to actually come in at this side or that side and just clear it straight out in one pass. So if I just close down the simulation, okay, what I'm going to do then is just I'm going to take the geometry and remove the geometry that I've created, and the toolpath's still in there, so let me just blank that out a minute. Okay, we can see on the screen now we've got this slot that we wanted to do, but because I want to control it now, I need to tell it that I actually want to come in at the end or this end, which is quite easy to do in BobCAD. There's nothing extra to do apart from just change the geometry slightly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and select this line and this line, right click, and I'm going to modify and change the line style. This time I'm going to make that dotted. Select OK, and you can now see that these lines are now dotted. So let's go into our let's repick our geometry, reselect, highlight it, shift, pick it, right click, select OK, and let's just put them toolpaths back on again. They're the toolpaths. So what I need to do now is just edit the operation. Everything's the same as next, 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 adaptive roughing, next. Let's go back. And recompute it. Now you can see now it's come out at the sides. So if we now simulate this, get rid of the toolpath. So now what we're going to get is simulation, and you can see now it's just coming straight down the sides. And out the other side. So there you can see, just rerun that again, rewind, rerun. So now you're doing high speed machining using the full width of the cutter, and you're coming straight in the end and machining what you want to machine, the way you want to machine it. So as you can see in BobCAD, it's quite easily to make lines dotted, and they actually tell the software where I want you to come in. So you can now control by just changing that line style to tell the software this is where I want you to come in and come out. It's quite easy to do. What I'll do is I'll do another couple more videos to show you different other strategies using this line style to select how you machine your component. Here is another example of adaptive roughing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create myself 4 pockets in the corner, each corner, that I'm going to machine out. So what I'll do is I'll go into other, rectangle, length 90, 90, no radiuses, and I'm just going to move it out 10 and 10 from the center there, and I'm using the bottom left hand corner. Select OK, and you can see I've created that rectangle there. I shall go into arcs and fillet, and we'll put a 20mm fillet on this corner. Okay. What I'm going to do now then is I want to make another 3 of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into rotate. I'm going to select 3 copies, and in Z I'm going to go 90 degrees, and I'm going to work around the center line. So all I need to do is select what I want, right click, select OK, and there you can see it shows the corners there. I'm going to accept that and cancel. Okay, so now you've seen I've created 4 pockets, and what we'll do is we'll go into our 3D view, and what we're going to do is create some stock. So let's create a new job, milling, stock wizard, select stock wizard, and we're going to select a rectangular, select next. You can see it's picked it up, and the height of it is 25.4. It's come from the workspace, so I'm happy with that. Continue, and what we're going to do is do the machine setup. This is where you can set up the machine. So if I wanted to pick that corner, I can pick up that corner on there and set the datum. So if we pick and select the corner, in that corner you can see I've picked up that corner. If I wanted to get it back to the center again, I could actually enter origin, and I might put that at 0, 0, and I'm back to the center again. Select OK, and there you see I've picked up my block there. I'm just going to turn the transparency down a little bit and select OK, and let's view all. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mill this out. We're going to use a trochoidal toolpath just to machine it out. And if I just go into this and create a 2-axis, I'm going to select my geometry. I'm going to highlight my geometry, press my shift key, left click, left click, left click, left click, let go of your shift key, right click and press OK. You've now selected your geometry. So if I just put in there 10, 2, you can see you've got your 4 pockets picked up there. We're going to go 12.7 deep or ½ inch deep. Next we're going to do some pocketing, get rid of the profile finish, not interested. Next we're going to use the 12.7 or ½ inch. Next, and we're just going to pocket out, and we'll do adaptive roughing. So in other words, it's going to trochoidal its way from the center outwards. Select next. I'm going to change that down to 10%. Next, I'm going to leave 0.5 on the sides or ½ milli. Single step. Next, and I'm going to spiral in, and I'm just going to use 3. Next, I'm where I want to be. So if I go into compute, you can see now it'll take just a few minutes to compute the toolpath. And you can see we've created now the toolpath. What I'll do is I'll simulate this. Okay, I'm going to just turn my machine off and turn off the toolpath, and then what we can do is we can set this off, machining up this these pockets. And you can see it's just ramping down, and when it gets down to its full depth it'll start spiraling its way out. Now what we've done is we've told it to stay within a boundary, and that's exactly what it's going to do. It's not going to come out of the job, it's going to stay in there, and we're left with the corners like this, as you can see. We'll just speed that up and let it go through, and speed the next one up. So you can see we've just milled out, but really we need to be coming out of here and out of there. We don't want to be just milling and coming through there as well. So let's just see, let's just close that down. Okay, you see the toolpaths are on there. I'm just going to blank the toolpaths out for a minute so I can explain. Now, because I want to control how this machine's this, I actually want to use this corner and that line there. I actually want them to come in. So what we need to do is we don't need to change the stock or anything. All we need to do is change the line style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, that one, select this one, that one, this, that one, and that one. I'm going to right click, I'm going to modify, I'm going to change the line style to a dotted. Select OK, and you can see now I've changed these to a dotted line. And then what that's going to do now is tell the software you can come out of there and you can come out of here. So let's just what we're going to do is get the geometry, and I'm just going to remove what I already had, and I'm going to right click and reselect and pick shift, pick the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, right click and select OK. So I've reselected the stock, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the toolpath, and what I will do is edit the operation. Everything's the same. Next, 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 next. I'm not going to turn on adaptive roughing. What I want you to do is come from the outside of where this dotted line is. So that's just advanced pocketing. So if we go next, still use the 10%, next, next, and recompute. And now you can see it's recomputed it. You can also see that it's come out of the pocket, so now I can control it a little bit better. So let's go into modules, mill simulation. Let's turn off the machine, let's turn off the toolpaths, let's turn this down a little bit, and let's run. And now you can see just taking out the corners using that same percentage step over, but we're actually controlling where it comes in and where it comes out. And in BobCAD you'll find all it needs to do is just change the geometry style. Speed that up a bit and speed the next one up. So there you see an example of adaptive roughing. Just close that down. And to make this active, all I had to do was just right click, blank the toolpath out, was decide where I wanted it to machine. And all it takes is you to change that line style from a full line to a dotted line, and then you can control how the cutter works and milling the job as you want to mill it. That's one example. I'll show you another couple of examples as well. Here's another example of adaptive roughing at the moment. What I want to do is pocket the outside shape, and if we just right click and edit the operation, next, you can see I've got two boundaries selected. This is one boundary and this is the other boundary. So what I want it to do is mill around these areas here and mill that out. So if we go next, just pocketing, next, next, tool that I've got in, next, we're going to just pocket out, climb mill, percentage step over, next, next, ramping, yeah, next, and compute. And you can see it's computed that toolpath inside there. If we just simulate that, turn the machine off, I'll just turn the this off. What we'll do is we'll just run the simulation. Now what it's trying to do now is just trying to machine, and it'll only get out the areas it can get out. So we end up having to think, do we have to make bigger stock so it comes out? Do we have to offset profiles? Do we have to do, and it's not roughing it the way I want it to rough. You know, in some areas it's not got in these corners here. So even though I'm using pocketing, I would have to offset the profile to get it to come further out with the tool. But once again, we're going to use the adaptive. Let's just turn that off for a minute. Okay, let's go back into that operation. Edit the operation. Now, what we've done originally on the geometry is we've picked the same boundaries, but we've made them dotted all the way. Them 4 lines there, we've made them. We've changed the line style to dotted. Next, 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 next. So what we're going to do is just use advanced pocketing. That's all I need to do. Select next, next. We could actually plunge in because we're fine. Next, that's correct, and tell it to recompute the toolpath. And you can see now it's regenerated a new toolpath. So if we go back into simulation, turn off the machine, turn off the thingy, and what I'll do then is just run the toolpath. So it's coming in facing off, and now you can see it's coming on the outside, and part of the roughing by the percentage step over, you'll see start taking that out, the stock, automatically. You don't have to change the stock. All you have to do is change the line style of your boundary, and now you can machine this, and then it'll just go around the profile, as you can see. And on the next step down, it'll start again roughing. Let's just speed this up for a minute. You can see it's roughing out your stock. No matter what your stock is, it will automatically see it to machine what it needs to machine. Okay, so let me just go into analysis while I'm at it, and I will just go for a deviation, and you can set these tolerances to see what you've got left in. So if I tell it to just generate it, so now you can see it's left it in colours, so you can see what material leaving in areas. So that's another way of using the adaptive. Hopefully that helps you out as well.